Does my dog know that he is dying? During one of the last few days my dog was alive, he came to my bed and stayed there the entire night. He absolutely never did that before. 2 days later he wanted to stay outside the entire day even though it was raining. So we built him a makeshift shelter outside so he could stay outside and watch the garden. Not something he ever did before. The next day, in complete contrast, it was a beautiful sunny day and he was lying down between the flowers in the garden. Around midday he started to look towards my dad, who was inside at that time, again and again, like checking where he was. So my dad got outside and lay down with him, holding his head in his lap. My dad said that he just made this deep, content sigh and then closed his eyes, and that was it. So yeah, I am absolutely sure it is not a coincidence. They are aware. Edit. Sorry if you are reading this and it pulls you down. It's been almost 10 years, and while I still think of him and sometimes still have dreams of him, it doesn't feel like a crushing loss anymore. It's a more fond memory when I think about him now. Even the circumstances of him leaving this world, to me it feels like he was able to peacefully go in his own terms in the arms of the person that loved him the most, and that he undoubtedly also loved the most, and knowing that kind of makes me happy. I don't think these circumstances happen very often. If he's being more affectionate, he could just be seeking comfort due to not feeling well. I think animals probably have an instinctual sense that something is happening, but not an intellectual concept of death. We don't know how much they know. They don't have the language to hold complex thoughts, so we know he isn't aware of things in the way you are. But that doesn't mean they don't have some sense that something is happening. Could be he just feels a little off because of whatever conditions he has, and so he's seeking comfort in his owner. Even if that's the case, does it matter? Still means whatever concepts of affection and comfort and love a dog can have, he thinks it's you. My guess is either he knows he's dying, or perhaps you're subconsciously acting different around him, and he has picked up on it. Animals often are able to somehow sense when they are sick or dying. Some will even start picking out a particular place they want to die. My mom had a Chihuahua that lived to be 16 or so. And by the end she was a shivering, shaking mess who was completely blind and could barely walk. As her final weeks ticked by, I would visit whenever I could, ball up a blanket on my lap, and just hold her there. The shivering and shaking would instantly stop. She would let out the deepest, most content sigh, and just sleep as peacefully as I'd ever seen a dog sleep. They absolutely know when something is wrong, even if their mind can't grasp what is happening. Which is why they seek comfort in the people they know they can trust. We recently put our 13-year-old Beagle down. She had Cushing's and had been sick for a while. She would have sort of flares and then get better. But this last one just wasn't the same. So we knew she was actively dying. She always followed me around the house. And she slept a lot. Not too much different. But she wasn't eating and couldn't keep anything down. Did she know? I think so. Can't explain it, but I do. But she isn't the dog I know beyond a doubt knew. We have a 2-year-old lab. He loved to pester her. He stopped doing it for the last 2 weeks of her life. He still would be around her, just not nudging and playing. I also noticed he was barking at any and all noises for a week or two. And he panted like crazy, even though he generally hangs out in the coolest room in the house. Once the older dog was gone, I made the connection that the lab knew and was grieving. He honestly acted sad and depressed for weeks after too. I think they do in some capacity. I had 2 bunnies. Died a year apart. One became so clingy in the end. I joked that I was gonna have to get one of those baby slings and carry him around. I had a feeling when he was gonna go. It was evening and he was acting weird. I put him to bed and something told me to stick around. He wanted to be held, so I held him till he passed. My other bunny, who was more independent, wanted to be around me more and also be held. Unfortunately, I had to put her down but was with her till the end. I think just like people, they know and don't want to be alone and be comforted when they cross over. I've had animals all my life and I can assure you they know. They know when they are dying and when other member is. Their behavior changes completely. They are amazing. A gift. Right before my familiar cat had a feline heart attack and dropped dead. He jumped up on my bed and did a tour of the bed. Gave me super nuzzles. And promptly dropped dead. He was old and of a breed known to suddenly drop dead of heart failure. So I had been expecting it for a year or so. He gave no indication he was feeling poorly. But I think he knew. And didn't want to die in my bed. They certainly know. My last dog lost the use of his hind legs. He couldn't go outside without help because of the couple stairs. Even when we built him a ramp, he would have some good days and some bad days, so it was hard to really tell when the time was right to relieve his pain. But the night before we had scheduled his assistance in moving on, he climbed 15+ stairs and put his paw on my bed wanting to be picked up. He stayed with me all night like he used to when he was healthy. I never really thought about it until now. My childhood dog died when I was 25. He was 18. He never slept in my room, but in the week up to his passing he insisted on sleeping on my bed. 10 years on, that's a pretty nice memory. Thanks for prompting it. Bad thread for me to read while at the emergency vet. My last dog could hardly get up on the bed anymore due to arthritis, but he climbed in bed every night for a week before he passed. He just wanted to be held. Dogs are social and seek solace in their family when they don't feel good. My cats always seemed to understand they were dying. When I knew, they knew. They can read our emotions. They know us better than know ourselves, and love is more too. I miss all my fur babies. My first dog knew. His name was Nutley. Shih-Tzu. He died when he was 13 and I was 16. I was out of the country when he started getting sick. He had a tooth abscess that got infected, and the vet said it would cause him more pain to fix it at his age, and it would be best for him to be laid to rest. He wouldn't eat. My mom was worried he would pass before I got back, but he lasted. He waited until I was home, was constantly trying to look around for me. When I got home, he was super affectionate, more than usual, very calm. He could barely eat, but would try when I would try to feed him. When I had gotten home, I slept on the floor with him for a week before he was scheduled to be euthanized. On the day we took him, he wouldn't leave my side. I miss him terribly. Clean up on aisle 4. I am a blubbering puddle after reading this thread. He knows. He's saying goodbye. In my observation, when my dog was sick he would be an eyeshot. When he was on his last few days he isolated himself entirely. I think dogs know. I had a dachshund that was super affectionate to me, and he got sick. One day he simply said goodbye to all my family. He went to all of them, cuddle for a moment with each, then came to my room and stay with me all day and night. The next morning he was dead. It was incredibly sad for me, but I felt that he said goodbye. BTW, he almost never slept with me. That was the second time. Not sure, but had a pup a long time ago. Only a few months old. 23. And he was not feeling well. He wanted to be next to me, like hold me and tell me it's going to be okay. So I would think they know something is not right and that they will likely not make it. We had barely formed a small bond, and even then they seek some kind of comfort from someone. Might be another pet or a human they have bonded with. I found with our golden retriever he became very embarrassed needing help in his last days, would be affectionate when approached but just seemed like he knew it was more work when he was sick. I never minded the extra effort at all. OL boy. Miss you tons. I do think animals know when death is near. Sorry you're going through this op.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. TooAfraidToAsk is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.